What up, though, y'all? It's Chris, broadcasted from the D, out here getting 10,000 steps in, over here, Midtown, by the old school, CCS. You guys have seen me over here by CCS plenty of times before. I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about me real quick. I used to go here in the early 2000s. That's why I call it the old school. I did not finish, though. The reason being, well, it was a couple major reasons. The major I was taking was for traditional animation, which was on its way out because 3D was picking up like crazy. So Disney and other studios, they weren't really hiring people to do hand-drawn stuff anymore. That was going away. If they wanted to do a hand-drawn movie, they basically just commissioned some people to work that movie, and that was it. They didn't have basically on staff animators anymore. And I really wasn't that passionate about 3D, so I didn't really want to change majors, so I just kind of dropped out. Tuition was 10 grand a semester here. I don't know how much it is now. I would imagine that it's more because we're talking about 20 years ago. So I would have ultimately ended up paying 80 grand for an education and wouldn't have been able to find work afterwards. Now, I had a friend who went here along with me. He did end up finishing. He did 3D. He was able to find work. But he ended up working with people who didn't get a degree in 3D, all right? A lot of the people that he ended up working with, they basically downloaded a 3D program and just fiddled around with it until they got good at it, kind of self-taught. They were looking at stuff on YouTube or whatever, practicing on their own time, and they just got really good at it. Because it turns out that studios that were hiring didn't really care as much about whether you went to a fancy art school or not. They cared about, could you do the work? Was your work good? So he ended up paying $80,000, and though he doesn't really regret it, he has expressed to me if he could do it all over again, he probably wouldn't, because now he knows what he knows now, that he would end up working with people, you know, shoulder to shoulder, who didn't outlay 80 G's for an education. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get to the topic at hand. We got male birth control on the way. So guys, before you get too excited, it's not here yet, but it's coming. Apparently it's went through a wave of testing. You have non-hormone, no side effect to their knowledge so far. That's yet to be seen. But so far, what they're saying is that non-hormone, no side effect, male birth control is coming to the market in the form of a pill. You take the pill, apparently 15 days later, it basically does something to your swimmers. I had an article. I was gonna do this video sitting in my truck reading the article, but I went ahead and decided to talk to you guys about it now while I'm out walking. So it does basically something to the sperms, some vitamin or something that they're supposed to get. It restricts them of that, making them basically non-viable swimmers, if you will. And there you have it. You got people that are upset about this, of course. I don't know why you would be upset about this, but you got people who are upset about this. Before I get into them, I'm gonna say this. I always believed that females were the wrong sex to target when it came to birth control, because a lot of times because women are more emotional than logical, and I'm not saying that to be disparaging, that's just the reality of it. Women being more emotional than logical, if they find themselves pregnant in a bad situation, they're more likely to go through with it. If you have a male birth control, a guy that can pop a pill and it makes his swimmers unviable, so he doesn't fertilize her to begin with. That, in my opinion, is a far more effective way of preventing the bulk of unplanned pregnancies. I will say this, though, and I think it's funny how the main women who be talking about, reproductive rights, they were swearing Trump was going to take away their reproductive rights or whatever. These be the same ones that in an accidental pregnancy don't use Planned Parenthood in the first place. They be like, oh, I don't believe in terminating pregnancies because of religious reasons. And it's interesting to hear them cite religion, because I'm pretty sure your religion is against premarital sex, but you're doing that anyway. But when it comes to an unplanned pregnancy, your reason for going through with it is religious reasons. It's just kind of silly to kind of cherry pick following your religion when it's convenient for you. However, now let's get into the people who are upset about this. It's the ones you would think. It's the pink and purple hair, septum ring having, stupid tattoo having, pronoun using, radical leftists and feminists. It's them that are upset about it. They are angry at the fact that not only does a male birth control exist, which that's strange to me, because have they not been saying for years, I wish men would get birth control so that we wouldn't have to take it. Like, for men, birth control has been up to this point either getting a vasectomy or condoms. And they were totally fine with a man snipping himself and preventing himself from being able to have kids again. They were totally fine with this. But a way for them to get the same effect, but it's reversible, they hate it for some reason. That's how you know that it's not really about birth control, having access to birth control. They just hate men. Like, really, they just hate men. Whenever you have the illogical argument of being okay with a vasectomy, but having a serious issue with popping a pill that gives you the same outcome, prevents you from having unwanted children, but in the event that you change your mind in the future, you can just stop taking it, and in 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, however long it takes effect, it'll probably be like 2-3 weeks, you can now resume production like you would normally. They have some serious issue with that. It's not about birth control. It's about just hating men. But yeah, they're upset that this birth control for men is being pitched as having no side effects and being non-hormonal, because from what they say, I'm no expert on this, but from what they say, birth control for women has all types of side effects, this and that. I mean, I've read some of the pages. There are some potential side effects for birth control. Not all women experience all of the side effects. In fact, it seems like the majority, and I'm not quoting any study here. This is very much anecdotal, just from me observing people in real life and me observing people online who talk about it. It appears that the majority who take women who take birth control, not only do they not experience most of the side effects, a lot don't experience any. So when they're constantly throwing out, do you know how many side effects women experience? It just seems, I don't know, it just seems like they're just looking for looking for a struggle, looking for a fight to take on or whatever, because I've not seen any reports or any literature whatsoever. I never see these women provide who say, do you know how many women go through this? I never ever see them provide any evidence that at mass women are experiencing these very negative side effects from taking birth control. So there you guys have it. Male birth control. The men will be able to control their swimmers with a pill. And some of you guys, y'all really need it, okay? Because y'all pull-out game is weak. Like, really, some of y'all pull-out game is so weak. We couldn't trust you to pull out of a driveway, man. Y'all pull-out game is so weak. There you have it, though, man. I can't wait to hear what you guys got to say about this. Hit me with a like if you like what I do. Hit me with a sub if you like what I do. And hit me in them comments. I'ma holla at y'all. Peace.